in this video, we are going to solve the data interpretation questions that were asked for the second shift of commerce in NTA UGC NET December 2020 and June 2021 merge cycles. So data interpretation is one of the easiest modules in paper 1, and it might sound a little bit confusing, but the truth is, if you can focus on the most important concepts, then this data interpretation is a very easy module, and this is a module in which you can actually score 5 out of 5 as well. So if you consider this data interpretation as a module, there are 3 important topics or 3 important concepts that you have to concentrate on. That is percentage, average and ratio. So if you know these 3 concepts and the calculations, the basic calculations are related to these 3, then data interpretation is a very easiest module to anyone who is actually appearing for your NTA UGC NET exam. So as I have already mentioned, in this session we will be concentrating on the questions that were asked from this particular session or this particular module in the commerce second shift of NTA UGC NET December 2020 and June 2021 merge cycles. And as you all know, in data interpretation, they will give you a data, and that will be in the form of table or pie chart. There are so many methods in which you can actually represent the data, and from that particular data, we need to answer 5 different questions. So if you consider data interpretation, there are 2 parts or 2 steps that you have to concentrate. First one is you need to interpret the data that is given there. So you have to analyze it, you have to understand it, and then you can move to the calculation part as well. So if you consider the question that was asked for this particular students or this particular shift of commerce, you can say that the question goes like this. They have given you the data in the table form, and they asked us to find out the solution for the 5 questions that were based on the table that was given. So the following table presents the percentage breakup of employees and the ratio of male to female employees working in 5 different organizations, and there is a total number of 35,000 employees working in all 5 organizations. So what is the data given here? You are given the number or the percentage, actually the percentage breakup of employees who are working under 5 different organizations, and also you have given the ratio of male and female employees as well. So you have given 2 different aspects of a data. They have given you the percentage distribution of the various employees in 5 different organizations, and also they have given you the ratio of the male to female employees as well. And also in the question they have mentioned it as the total number of employees is 35,000 as well. So if you consider the table there, we have 5 different organizations given from A to E, and if you consider the percentage breakup of employees there, in A we have 18%, B 22%, C 31%, D 15%, and E 14%. And also we have the ratio of male to female employees also given in the table. So the table is given here, so you can just analyze and understand the data that are given there. So moving to the first question that is given there. The total number of employees in organization C is approximately what percent of the total number of employees in organization D? So basically this is a question that is focused on the concept percentage. We have to identify the total number of employees in organization C first, and then we have to understand, or we have to figure out the total number of employees in organization D, and then we need to identify the total number of employees in organization C is approximately what percent of the total number of employees in organization D. So let's get started. So what we need to figure out in this particular question is this thing. C is what percent of D. That means the number of employees who are working in organization C is what percent of the employees who are working in organization D. This is what we need to find out, right? For that, first and foremost, we need to find out the number of employees who are working in organization C and also organization D, because in the data it is given the percentage breakup is what it is written or given in the data. So first and foremost, we need to find out the number of employees in C, then number of employees in D, and then we need to find out the approximate percentage, or the number of employees in C is what percentage of the number of employees in D. So first and foremost, we will be looking at the number of employees in C. How can you figure out this total number of employees who are working under organization C? So for that, what we need to do is, we know that the total number of employees is 35,000 into, if you consider the data that is given there, In organization C, we have given the percentage of employees working in organization C is 31%. So what we need to do here, 35,000 into 31% means 31 by 100. Actually, we can solve this particular thing that we have written here in two different ways. We have the traditional method and also we have an ACS method that we can use for this kind of calculation. Firstly, we'll be looking at the traditional method and then we'll be going to figure out the ACS method in which you can actually practice these kinds of questions. So how can you solve this in traditional method? So you can just do it like this, and then we have 35 into 31. That will give you 10850. Likewise, you can calculate this number of employees in D also in the traditional method as 35,000 into what is the percentage of employees in organization T, that is given as 15, right? So 15% means 15 by 100. So how can you calculate this? That will give you 5250. Alright, so this is the traditional method in which you can find out the calculation that is given here. 35,000 into 31 by 100 and 35,000 into 15 by 100, that is equal to 5,250. So we'll just do the calculation here itself and then I'll just give you an ACS method in which you can solve this as well. So in order to find the number of employees who is working in organization C is what percent of the number of employees who is working in organization D. The concept here is we are actually comparing the C to D, right? So the thing which is compared, that can be written as the numerator, and the thing to which we are comparing, that will be the denominator into 100. So this is what we have to do here. C is what percent of D means C by D. C is what percent of D. We are comparing C with D, right? So C by D into 100. So from what we have calculated here, we can write it as 1,850 by 5,250 into 100. This is how you can find out C is what percent of D. You got the idea, right? We are comparing C with D. So C is your numerator, D is your denominator. So we have already calculated. This C and D actually denotes the number of employees in the respective organization. So C by D into 100, that is 1,850 by 5,250 into 100. Right. So we'll just solve this part. So how can we solve this? Just divide the numerator and denominator with 5. So anyway, these two zeros will be cancelled, and 5 into 2 is 10. Then we have 5 into 1, that is 8. So you have a remainder there, that is 3, right? So that means 8 minus 5, that is 3. So 35, that is 5 into 7 is 35. Likewise, you have to divide the denominator as well. So 5 into 1, 5. 2, then you can just put a 0 there and you can just take it as 25. So that is 5. So now you have 217 divided by 105 into 100. So this is how you can simplify this. So just divide it. So 105 into 2 is 210. Then you have 7 as the remainder. Just put a 0 there and again a 0. So 105 into 6 is equal to 630. So you have a remainder that is, yeah, so again 6, so it's like 2.066 into 100. So that means 2.066 into 100. So when you multiply this with 100, you'll get 206.6. Right, this is what you get. This is percentage. So the number of employees working in organization C is what percent of the number of employees who is working in organization D, that is 206.6%, but you don't have an option like 206.6 in the options, but you have an option there that is 207. You have 207% as an option. So that is the right answer for this question. So I'll just show you an easiest method to find out 31% of 35,000 and 15% of 35,000. In the traditional method, how you can do that? 35,000 into 31 by 100. That is the traditional method in which you can find out the percentage. But there is a very easy method for you as well. So consider this one. So if you consider 35,000, the 100% of 35,000 is 35,000 itself. Okay, if that's the case, what is the 10% of 35,000? Just put a point here, that is 3,500. So the 10% of 35,000 is 3,500. Again, if that's the case, what is the 1% of this particular number? That is, again, just avoid the 0 and you'll get 350. So if you have a number, here we have got the number 35,000, it is 100%. The 10% is 3,500 and the 1% is 350. If this is the case, what is the 31% of 35,000? What do you need to do here? You have to just do it like this. So 10% of 35,000 is 3,500 into 3, because 30% plus 1%, right? Plus 1% is 350. So that is 10,050. Coming to this part, 15% of 35,000. How you can calculate this? This is basically 10% plus 5%, right? So 10% we already know, that is 3,500. So that is the 10%. So that's, if that's the case, what is the 5% of 35,000? That is the half of the 10%. So if you consider 5% here, that is basically the half of 3,500, that is 1,750. You got the point, right? So if you need to find out 5% of 35,000, we already know the 10% of it. So half of it will give you the 5%. So 3,500 plus 1,750. That will together give you 5,250. Yeah. So likewise, you can then calculate the other part. We have to identify what percentage, or C is what percentage of D. That's what we need to find out. The other calculations we have already done. So this is just to give you an idea about how you can do this percentage calculations in an easy way. That's what we have intended through this. So anyway, going to the next question. Here you have the second question. What is the total number of males in all the 5 organizations together? So what we need to do here is we need to find out the male employees in all the 5 organizations, and we have to just take the sum of it. So in the first question, we already figured out the total number of employees in C and the total number of employees in D, right? So you can just use that data that we have already identified. So this is one thing that you have to remember when you're doing these calculations in the exam time. Make sure that you're doing it neatly and clearly, because some of the calculations that you're doing for the first question might help you in the coming questions as well. So there might be some questions that will actually need the data or the calculations that you have done in the previous question. So always make sure that if you are doing calculations in your exam time, do it clearly and neatly. Otherwise, it will like a clumps and you cannot find out the calculations that you have already done. So if you find the already mentioned or calculated data, we know that in organization C, we have a total number of employees that is 10,850, and in the data they have given us the ratio of male and female employees as well. So in organization C, the male to female ratio is 3:2. If that's the case, how can you find out the number of males working in organization C? The thing is literally simple. What you have to do is 10,850 into this male, that is 3, right? So 3:2 is male as to female. So 3 by 3 plus 2, that is 5. This is how you need to do the calculation. You have the total number there and also the ratios given here. So 10,850 into 3, because male is to female is 3:2. So 3 by the total, that is 5. So how can you simplify this? So 5 into 2, 10. Then you have 5 into 1, that is 5. And you have a remainder, that is 3. So that is 35. So 5 into 7 is 35. And then you have a 0 here. So if you are doing the calculation part, you can do it as that is 6,510. Right. Likewise, if you consider organization D, the total number of employees is 5,250. We have already calculated it in the previous question. And the male-female ratio that is given there in the data as 2:3. Right. If you consider organization D, the ratio of male to female there is 2:3. So likewise, you need to do it like this. 5,250 into male is to female is 2:3. That is 2 by 3 plus 2 is 5. Again, simplify it. 5 into 5. That is 2,100. So just consider another example. Then we'll just consider organization B. How you can find out the number of males in organization B. We haven't calculated the total number of employees in organization B. So we have to do it from that step itself. So how you can do that? We know that the total number of employees is 35,000. And the percentage breakup says it as there is 22% people working in organization B. That means 22% of this 35% of the total employees is actually employees of organization B. So how you can simplify it? Is 7,700. So considering the ratio here, we have male as to female as 11:9. If that's the case, how you can find out the number of males here? That is 7,700 into 11 by 20. So how can I simplify this? Just remove these zeros. 2 into 3, that is 6. So you have a remainder, that is 1 here. And then you have 8 into 2, that is 16, remainder 1. So then you have 5 into 2, that is 10. So that will give you 4, 2, 3, 5. So likewise, just go and figure out all the other organizations or the number of male employees in all the other organizations as well. We have found out B, C and D. So you need to find out A, then E. That's it. The other 3 we have already done, and now you know how to do that also. Just practice it. Just pause the video and try to figure out the number of male employees in the other 2 organizations. Alright. So we have already found the number of male employees in C, D and B, and I hope you have found out the number of employees in organization A and E as well. So if you are taking the total number of males in all these 5 organizations together, you'll get 15,960, and that is option C. So the right answer is option C itself. Next question, what is the ratio of the number of males in organization A to the number of males in organization C? So we have already found out the number of males in all the 5 organizations in the previous question. So you know that number of males in A is 1,890 and number of males in C is 6,510. So this is something that we have already calculated. So how you can find out the ratio between these two, A is to C, or the number of males in A as to the number of males in organization C. This is what we need to find out. So that is 1,890 is to 6,510. So divide both the sides with 7. So 7 into 2 is 14 and you have a remainder 4 here. So 7 into 7 is 49. Yeah. So that is 270. And again this side. 7 into 9 is equal to 63, so you have a remainder 2, and 7 into 3 is equal to 21, and yeah, so this is what you get here. So that is 270 is to 930. So this is the simplified form. So cancel these zeros, and you know 9 into 3 is 27. And 31 into 3 is 93. So 9 is to 31 is your answer. So 9 is to 31 is the right answer for question number 3. Moving to the next question. What is the difference between the number of females in organization E and the number of females in organization B? So we already know that the total number of employees in E is 4,900. This is something we have already calculated. So one thing I have already mentioned is significant here as well. If you're doing a calculation when you are doing your exams, make sure that you're doing it neatly and clearly so that that information might help you in the coming questions as well. So the total number of employees in organization E is 4,900 and the male employees is 1,225. And how can you find out the number of female employees here? You don't need to go to the calculation, the complex calculation in this. Just subtract the number of male employees from the total employees. That will give you the number of female employees in organization E. So what will be your answer here? If you subtract this one, this will give you that is 3,675. Likewise, we can figure out the number of female employees in organization B as well, right? So we have the total number that is 7,700 and the male employees is 4,235. This is all, these information or these calculations, we have already done that, right? So just subtract the number of male employees from the total employees. So that is 3,465. And what is the question here? What is the difference between the number of females in organization E and the number of females in organization B? So what you need to do here is you just to find out the difference, that is 3,775 minus 3,465. So that is 210, right? So 210 is option A. So the right answer for this question is option A itself. So moving to the last and final question of this set, that is, what is the sum total of the number of females in organization D and the number of males in organization E? So we have already found the total number of employees in D, that is 5,250. This is something that we have calculated, and the male employees is also given there, that is 2,100. So how you can find out the number of female here? Just subtract the number of male employees from the total, that is 3,150, and this number of males in organization E that we have already calculated in the previous question, that is 1,225. And the question here asks us to find the total or the sum total of the number of females in organization D and the number of males in organization E. So what you need to do here, just add 3,150 plus 1,225. So that will give you 4,375, that is option A. So the right answer for this question is option A itself. So in this video, we have discussed the data interpretation questions that were asked for the Commerce Shift 2 in NTA UGC NET December 2020 and June 2021 merge cycles. So as I have already mentioned, data interpretation as one of the easiest modules that you can crack, and you can actually score 5 out of 5 in this module if you have the proper practice and the proper strategy. So I hope this video will really help you in your preparations. So thanks for watching and happy learning.